Welcome back to the NERDROTIC channel, everybody. My name is Gary Buechler. I'm live in San Francisco, California, and this is a very special episode of NERDROTIC Premieres. I'm actually recording two this evening on, what is the date today? Anyway, it's August 6th, and we're going to check out a show that's completely out of our wheelhouse, Better Call Saul. So, if we get some I kindly call you normies. If we get some normies in here and see the crazy guy with the action figures all over his office covering a normal show, that's not normally what we do here. We normally cover genre TV, which is basically, wizards, spaceships. But I always have had an affinity for the drug deal gone bad, and this really falls into that category. Now, another strange thing about me liking this show is I got in this show by accident. I don't know. I was bored one day and started streaming it on Netflix and completely fell into it. And I have seen the first season of Breaking Bad, but I did not see the rest. And it's not that I didn't like it. I'm a grateful recovering addict, and Breaking Bad hit a little too close to home for me. So I just stopped watching it. But after burning through Better Call Saul over the last year or so, and if this channel was going during the time Breaking Bad was running, I probably would have covered it, but we've only been going for about a year now. And this is a show I've always kind of wanted to cover, but I just didn't think it fit in here. But we do these what's called a NERDROTIC premiere, where we do a premiere episode of new shows, and I jumped at the chance to cover this because this show is so damn good. And yeah, I know it's kind of like watching After MASH without watching MASH, but I think this show is really a cut above in so many ways. And the story of the origin of Saul Goodman, and it's cool that now that I can go watch Breaking Bad and kind of watch things in order. And and I'm sure people in the chat will tell me all the references. I know some of the references, where we're going with some characters. So last season ended with Chuck dying, Jimmy's brother, Jimmy, who's Saul, of course. And he had committed suicide. He was bought out by Howard, his partner, over some insurance problems due to, I can't pronounce his he's allergic to electromagnetism, or at least he thinks he is. It's all in his head. And it was proven out, and he was actually getting better, but the insurance rates doubled for the law department, so they bought him out, and he was doing okay. But at the end of the season, him and Jimmy finally butted heads after all the shenanigans that Jimmy had pulled, especially to get Kim that one job. And it all went to hell. So he decided to rip out every wire, everything, all of his appliances and everything. And then at the end of the last episode, he kicked over the lantern in his house and set himself on fire. And it was really, really tragic. I love in the beginning of the final episode of season 3, where they showed him reading little Jimmy a story, in the tent and focusing on the lantern. You could totally tell what was going to happen, but that was really, really sad. So we're dealing with the aftermath of that. I got to get my IMDb up because I am terrible with names. And everybody, by the way, if this is first time joining us, what I'll do is a brief recap, and this will be a short video, brief recap of the video, and then I'll get to you in the chat because it's more important to hear what you guys think, of the show. Again, this is not anything close to what we cover here, but it's good. We're going to be trying 2 different things in the next couple of videos. So I hope you enjoy them. And if you don't, you'll let us know. I'm sure you will. So we start with the episode starts out again with the post Breaking Bad timeline, and we see that in the last they're not flashbacks, flash forwards. Saul or Jimmy or Gene in this one passes out in the Cinnabon he is working in. And up to this point, it had really just been kind of nostalgic. We see his life post Breaking Bad, and it looks really depressing. He's in Omaha working in a mall in a Cinnabon. just doing really mundane things. It's all shot in black and white. But the last one we saw, he passed out. So we see an EMT dragging him out of the mall. Everybody's looking at him. And he has to go to the emergency room. It looks like it might have been a heart attack. They check his heart. They find out it was just, he probably stress over something we don't know yet. But it wasn't a heart attack. But as he's leaving the emergency room, and he's always cautious of the cops. Like I think it was the season 2 one where he locked himself in with where the trash bins were, and he could have pulled the emergency door to get out, but it probably would have called the cops. So he decided to just stay in there all night instead and write, SG was here on the wall. So he doesn't want any unwanted attention from the police. So it doesn't look like it's a situation where he's in hiding. He looks like he's in hiding on his own on this one. He passes when he's leaving the emergency room, they said there's a problem with his driver's license, and he starts getting pretty tense. He's all of a sudden, I'm waiting for a cab, I gotta go. And the girl helping him at the hospital's way, I just got to figure this out. Can I get your social security number? And he gives it. And it looks really tense there. And we find out that the girl had typed in an O instead of a 0. So it was all okay. So he gets in the cab, and he's sweating the whole situation. He's just like, I gotta get the hell out of here. And he gets in the cab, and he notices there's a little Albuquerque air freshener or something hanging from the rearview mirror. And the cab is just the cabbie is just staring at him through the rearview mirror. And I want to say Jimmy. Saul starts psyching himself out. So he decides to get out of the cab right there. And the guy doesn't stop right away, which is adding to the tension. And the cab driver finally stops. He pays him, and he walks out of the cab, but the cab doesn't leave. And you just see him, Saul, walks away from the cab and bends down and looks back, and the cab still hasn't left. And he turns the corner, and that's where we leave it. So for you Breaking Bad folks, this must be really tough for you to watch any of the post stuff going on here. That would be pretty tense, but it's great to watch. And it's cool how they mix that in with the past stuff, and it doesn't like overtake it in the story. Cause that has a great potential of taking over your story, which would not be good. But this show is really really good at mixing in the tension. And I love how Bob Odenkirk plays this, just the lovable loser. And he really shows, the life of a hustler. It's really not glamorous, and it's a tightrope act from tightrope to tightrope. He's like always like juggling something. And it's really cool. It's really cool. And really well done. And the great Vince Gilligan from X-Files, of course, which I don't know if he was involved with the new X-Files, and maybe that's what was missing from last season's X-Files. Cause this is pretty amazing stuff. So we get to we get back into the past. And we see this is a really cool transition shot. We see some burning embers kind of going out over Jimmy and Kim's bed while they're sleeping. And he wakes up and he does some mundane tasks. He makes some coffee, makes some breakfast. He's looking for a job, sees that Howard Hamlin calls him on the phone, and he just sets it aside. And then he hears Kim wake up, and she's still messed up from her accident she had because she's overworked. She was like last season, she was sleeping like 6 hours a week, and ended up driving off the road and running into some boulders. And she's lucky she didn't die. She broke an arm. She's pretty messed up. So, and Jimmy feels bad about that. He feels like he's got a lot of guilt, cause she's pretty much taking care of him right now because, he got suspended. He can't practice law or do anything right now because of his shenanigans from last season. And they get a message again from Howard, and this is where he finds out that Chuck had died. They run over to the house real quick. The house is completely gutted. Jimmy notices that all the electronics were put in the backyard. And he mentions that he'd seen him 5 days previous, and Chuck seemed okay. He seemed better. He was listening to the jazz. The lights were on. Everything was cool. And of course, Chuck was played by the great Michael McKean. Who would have thought that Lenny from Lenny and Squiggy would have gone so far in life. But he did a great job as Chuck, and he will be missed. I'm going to miss him a lot on this show. But we all could tell that ending was coming. Apparently some of these characters, like Kim, I don't know for a fact, but I read that a lot of these characters were not mentioned in Breaking Bad. So, a lot of them are either going to be leaving or dying. So possibly, Nacho or even Kim, who knows? And making Saul Goodman the Saul he turns into in Breaking Bad. So he figured out, Jimmy figures out pretty quick that, something had to push Chuck over the edge. He didn't know what it was at the time. Kim right there. And, Jimmy is lucky to have a girl like Kim around. She's pretty amazing. She's there, helping him out. Because he's a sorry son of a bitch. He really is. But he's lovable too. That's what's great about Bob Odenkirk and how he plays the role. So I could definitely see why they greenlit this series. So we get to see Mike. We get good old Mike, who is played by Jonathan Banks, the great Jonathan Banks, who made a brief appearance in Expanse season 1. He was also in. I remember him in 48 Hours. He's the cop that is coming down who got shot and tells Nick Nolte to get the hell out. This guy's been in everything, and he's so fucking good at everything he does. But this might be some of his best. So it's his last day at the parking lot job at the courthouse. He has to leave, and of course he has to give up back his windbreaker because he's taking this security consultant job, quote unquote, for Gus, I believe, and it's for a company called Madrigal, which I believe shows up later on in Breaking Bad as well. So, and he ends up getting a check for 10 grand from him, and it shows him just sitting in his house and being bored. So it looks like I love what Mike does. Mike decides to take the job seriously, and he swipes somebody's badge and ends up going to Madrigal. And I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. And breaks his way in, starts running around the place, grabs a clipboard. He runs in the office and, makes himself some coffee, has some donuts, signs a birthday card. It says reach for the stars, which is fucking hilarious. I was laughing my ass off the whole time on this. And he basically points out everything wrong with security. And he decides to take his job seriously, which I don't think that was ever the intention. So, yeah. So Hector post his heart attack, we have Gus and Nacho right where we left off season 3. Nacho had switched the pills. We all know about that. Gus definitely saw him switch the pills back after Hector had his heart attack and didn't recover. And this was, of course, after they decided to change the distribution route. Hector took it as complete disrespect, and his family had built all this. And, the Don's assistant there insisted that that wasn't it. They pull Nacho and the other guy in with Gus, and they go to some kind of factory that has a bunch of chicken. I don't know. It says a pollo loco or something like that. So they're in some factory, and they kind of lay out that nothing's changed, even though Hector's had a heart attack. And the reason Nacho wanted to do this is Hector wanted to funnel stuff through his dad's business, and Nacho basically told his dad to take the bribe, but kind of like with Mike's son, when he took a bribe, he took it, but he didn't take it willingly. He looked a little nervous, which made Hector feel a little nervous, which led Nacho to go to some rash acts, I believe. So, Don Juan Bosa wants to see everything just go as planned. And if everything goes as planned, things can go well for Nacho. And of course, Nacho gets away from it. There's a lot of tension here because it looks like, Gus might rat Nacho out, and it looks like, so Nacho's sweating it. But Gus is kind of playing it smart. you know. And we also see later on after the meeting, Nacho goes and throws the pills over the on a bridge and throws them off the bridge, but he is being watched the whole time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And we when we jump back to Mike eventually gives the guy his the pass back to Madrigal or whatever it was called to and says, "Yeah, you dropped your badge, and I need to see your manager." And he goes in and he points out, all the security problems, and announces himself basically as the head of security at this company. So yeah, because Mike wasn't going to like sit around the house. Okay, so I love that character so much. So we get to Chuck's funeral, and we see a long we see all the lawyers come in that Chuck and even Jimmy had dealt with before. We see Clifford Maine. They're all giving their condolences, and the whole time, this whole episode, other than Jimmy figuring out what happened to Chuck, he's just really quiet. There's a scene with him and Kim just sitting in the room, and she pours in some drinks, and they're drinking, and he's just sitting on the couch, and he sits there all night, just stewing, just thinking, dealing with his emotions. And right here in this, I could be wrong on this. It feels like we're seeing the tragic origin of a sociopath, who really did what he thinks was the right thing and got got the short end of the stick or whatever. But after they go to the funeral, and he comes back, Howard is there waiting for him at his apartment, and Howard confesses that he feels guilty, that he feels like he put Chuck over the edge, and he tells them, hey, we know that Chuck was careful with these lanterns. There's no way. I think it was a suicide. And Jimmy has a very strange reaction to this. He's really quiet. Even earlier in the episode, Howard was reading him his obituary and seeing if he was okay with it, and Jimmy couldn't even listen to it, and he walked away halfway through the phone call. So Jimmy's just been really quiet. And then all of a sudden, at the end of this episode, after Howard, basically takes responsibility for pushing Chuck over the edge, you could see like everything rise off of Jimmy. Like he feels free at that point. And he's like, "Hey, does anybody want some coffee? I'm going to make some breakfast." Yeah. And that's how it ends. And I think that's where we see more of a push to Saul Goodman. So, pretty damn good episode. It was just wrapping everything up from season 3. We'll stick with it. We'll see if you like it or not. Let me get to the chat real quick. I got to make this one short because we credit for our next video. If you're not watching this live, we are covering the premiere of Lodge 49, which is supposed to be, I don't know what the hell that show is supposed to be. They're selling it as like a Northern Exposure or a Big Lebowski. I loved one. I didn't love the other. If Doomcock is on, go see Doomcock. It's okay. This is a video. It'll turn into a video. I will not be butthurt about that. I've done 3 video. Whoa, my lord. Gratfater with 400 rubles. Oh, hey, sorry for the off topic abound, but it's hard to catch you live properly because of the big time difference. So very off topic question. Still up for business on following up with some of the weirdest series suggestions later on? Thanks. Yes. If you guys ever want to hit me up to cover anything, go to the about section of this channel. Go, and there's a very long email address there. I can remember that. It's called sutrowatchtower@gmail.com. Don't ask. That was actually the original placeholder name for the podcast. We thought we could change it and we couldn't. That's fine. We're actually the Nerdrotic channel now. And yeah, hit me up with whatever, or my DMs are open on Twitter. You can hit me up on that for anything. Mary Ashme did watch Breaking Bad. Yeah, and my apologies. The show was great. The show was really good. Let me tell you how good it was. And I don't mind. I've told this story to thousands of people I don't know. This is not anything new. I have a lot of sobriety under my belt. I've been in and out of those rooms for a long time. I've been in and out of AAA, 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 AAA since 89, 1990. So a long fucking time. So I am very comfortable with saying that, yeah, I used to cook meth. I used to help cook meth in many shabby locations in Southern California. And yeah, I got out of there with my life, and I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. But they really get now, while they don't get everything right, and a lot of it's, put up for drama, the feel of it feels right. Okay, so somebody has a lot of experience in that, with the writers, or they've had a consultant or somebody. This show hit very close to home, Gary. We had a man like Chuck in our family, and he did, spoiler in the end, very sad and real. Yeah, Mako. It's I think a lot of families have had that, and Mako, like, I've been that person at one time in my life. I'm really glad I'm not. But I've had to do the hustle in, and it's hell. It's the seventh layer of hell. It really is. Um, Gary's going to make it quick, unlike Doomcock. Yeah, I'm going to be out of here in about 10 minutes of chat. Then we got to go because we're coming right back. We're going to be right back. If you're watching this live, Susan and Dennis will be joining me. But we're going to go till about 9:15, 9:20. It is Howard's fault, JK. It was Chuck's fault. Chuck was an asshole. Okay. Um, Jimmy was an asshole too. They were both assholes. But Chuck really came. Chuck even said, like, Jimmy, you're free. He actually told him in season 3, like, dude, just be honest to yourself. You are a hustler. Just roll with it. Okay, please. I would have more respect for you. But when Chuck said, you've never really mattered that much to me, I think that was honest. And considering all that Jimmy had done for him, put up with all his craziness, his little space blanket, um, yeah, Chuck was an asshole. In my opinion, Better Call Saul is more of a character, personal family drama, and Breaking Bad is more of a criminal empire building. Both very good in a different way. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, definitely. This one is smaller in frame, but it is so different. Like, I can't tell I'm watching a prequel. I mean, I know, but I can't tell. This is a really special show. Listen, I think most prequels suck, because J.K. Rowling herself said it. Prequels are tragedies, and they're tragedies the ending to. And how's it going, a brown comic reader? And yeah, that's why I've always had a huge problem with prequels. Michael McKeon, who knew he could do drama and not just comedy, says, "Oh my God, I'm gonna just say Freeborn. Is it Gypsil? Is it Gypsil Freeborn? If I mispronounce that, I apologize." Absolutely, he's brilliant. He is so brilliant. Whatever happened to Squiggy? Hello. Rough Girl, enough rain up there? We sure have it here. Is Rough Girl in here? What's up, Rough Girl? How you doing? Getting down through the chat here. I love Saul and Breaking Bad too. And so many do. Michael McKean is a fantastic actor. Loved him ever since Spinal Tap, Mako. I saw Spinal Tap live, which was so good. It was in 1999 or 2000 at a place called Humphreys by the Bay in San Diego, which sucked. They had to end at 10 o'clock. And they were clowning all it because Humphreys was by, like, where all these rich people own boats and villas and shit. And they were clowning him the whole time. God, it was funny. It was so damn funny. One of the greatest movies ever made. Yeah, he was nuts. I think Kim left Saul. Well, Kim should have left Saul. Kim's a fucking saint. Not a perfect saint, but hi, Tara. How are you? And Philip A. Dimick. I love Michael McKean in Spinal Tap and as Perry White in Smallville. Yes. Well said, Philip A. Dimick. Yeah, he's shown up in so much stuff. Michael McKean also played Fear in The Thaw, one of the best Janeway episodes in Voyager. Yes. See, he's been in everything. I was hoping to see him return. But he had like 2 episodes in the whole series running. I would love to see him when he was for Metropolis. Oh yeah, Michael McKean in Smallville. I love Gus. I'm excited to see how he began, says Rough Girl. Hell yeah, that is good. Uh yeah, the only trouble is, Rough Girl, is like how long can they go? It's a prequel, and Mike, Jonathan Banks ain't getting any younger. Okay, so I mean, we can we can have our plausible, whatever it's called. We could believe what we want, and it's cool. Goddamn live stream brain farts. I hate them. Mike used to be a cop. Yes, he did. And his son was killed for taking a bribe nervously, basically. Really fucked up and tragic. Persian Scribe says, hello, Nerdrotic family. I wonder if I'm ever going to see any of the things we review here. LOL. You don't have to. We watch them so you don't have to. You got to be kind of into this this drama. I'm not the biggest drama fan. All right. I think drama is pretty easy to write. Plus, if we want drama, we can just remember something from our lives, right? I mean, I want to see something I haven't seen, like a spaceship or a wizard or a dinosaur or a dragon or a girl riding a dragon or an ice zombie riding an ice dragon. That's the kind of shit I like to watch. But this show's different. The show is definitely different. More like Better Watch Gary. Oh, shit. You make me blush right there. Ballsy, go head to head with Doomcock. No, I just didn't know he was going on, Bad Bunny. I would never would have gone on. I do schedule my stuff out a week. So, we're all good. I mean, like, we do have the best chat, Apple Crow. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. Doomcock is awesome though. We had a great chat this morning. Go check it out. We had just like a casual conversation for an hour. We both were under amazing time constraints and we made it happen. I was so happy. And we'll do it again. And hopefully I can like jump on other people's channels. Hopefully I won't bring their subscriber count down, but naked girl riding a dragon. Yes. I know this isn't Better Call Saul, but I'll tell you that my funny little story of spoiling the end of Game of Thrones season 1 because I'm an idiot. So I'm watching the end of Game of Thrones season 1 at my father-in-law's house. I had just gotten done from a hard week at Technicolor. It was 4 a.m. Everybody was asleep. And and I just got back from work after a 2-hour drive up from Burbank down to San Diego. My wife was down there and I watched it and I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, that is how you end a show. A naked girl with dragons. So I wrote that on Facebook and popped it out. And I caught a lot of shit. And I'm like, ooh, that was really dumb. I got excited. Dragon riding a naked girl? Yeah, okay, that too. Yes. That too. So Better Call Saul, we'll see how this video does. I would gladly cover the show all the way through. But that is really up to you guys and the clicks. So like, share, and subscribe. And oh my God, I was at work listening the stream earlier. Oh, you were, Tara? I hope I didn't cuss too much. I'm sorry if I did. Yeah, STD, get your penicillin for STD. Better Call Saul is a great show. AMC does weird things with their shows. There's a lot of politicking, but man, they have some pretty good shows on their network. I don't know if I feel the same about Lodge 49. We'll find out in a few minutes on that one. But Better Call Saul, double thumbs up. That is some good shit. Feisty fan, you came in right at the end, but don't worry. There's going to be another live stream right after this. And if you're watching this as a video, check out our review of Lodge 49 in the future. I would like to thank everybody who showed up in the chat. While I do that, I'm going to run our little Patreon video. By the way, patrons, I have not been giving you the attention you deserve. I threw up a video tonight that was a secret stream. You will be getting bi-weekly starting this Sunday, patrons, an exclusive live stream where you guys can join us. A few people at a time can come in and we can chat. And I think that'll be a lot of fun. So what you're seeing now is some of our wonderful patrons. We've gotten some new ones. which is quite wonderful. Sent out a couple of more packages today. You actually get stuff with our Patreon because we don't really give you a lot of content. So we give you stuff instead. There's a $1 tier, there's a $5 tier, and a $15 tier. Please go check it out, patreon.com/nerdrotic. And the great best chat on YouTube, Bad Bunny, Philip A. Demick, Feisty Fan, Mary Ashmead, Rough Girl, Morks, Tara, Aiva. Did I say Aliva or Aiva? I'll just say Aliva. I'll get that right. I mean, I said 4 different things there. One of them had to be right? Persian Scribe, Jody, going up there, Mako, Slurmy Scott, Gypsy Freeborn. Did I say Gypsel earlier? God dang. I really need to get my progressives. My glasses. These are not reading glasses. Going back up here. Darth Jarvis, thank you for the super chat, Gratfodder. And please hit me up with any suggestions you have for. I love weird TV shows. I really do. Apple Crow, the mighty Apple Crow. Bad Bunny, if I didn't say your name, I'm saying it twice. And Philip A. Demick, I might have said his name already, but you know, better safe than sorry, right, folks? And you know, you guys, like I said, you're the best chat on YouTube, and I look for. Oh, you guys don't want to look at that? What the hell? There we go. Stop sharing. I need a producer one of these days. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes covering Lodge 49 with Susan Layton, and you can see Susan's wonderful face. Now it's her lovely face, and you can also see Dennis's lovely face, and they will be joining me in a few short minutes. So thank you very much. Like, share, and subscribe, and may the small folks sing songs of your greatness. See you soon.